Hey guys, I'm the first lady speaker. Okay, I feel like I didn't read the prompt correctly, because the prompt wasn't just about campaign finance is bad, it needs to get rehauled as a major thing. What the prompt actually said was that all of the political contributions for unions and corporations has to be limited to $5,000 a year. That's where it is, that one sentence. Like that's what we're debating right now. It's not that like corporations are bad, you know, like money out of politics should be a good thing. It's like it's all on the table, but it's not just exactly what we're talking about. So I kind of want to just like focus in on what the issue is right now. I mean, the other thing though is that it's a statement that feels good, you know, saying that $5,000 a year, that should be how much Goldman Sachs should be able to give to Hillary Clinton for a campaign. Unfortunately, politics is complicated, and the issue of campaign finance is nuanced and tricky. In fact, if this measure were put in place, it would hurt more than help the state of campaign finance in America. First of all, setting the cap at $5,000 without putting any measures in place to increase or decrease the dollar amount sounds good. It's a clickbait answer to fixing our political system. Not only would this severely reduce the amount of influence groups have, saying it at a dollar amount doesn't take into account inflation. The average inflation over the past 10 years is about 2% every year, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and that's with a recession, the worst since the Great Depression. Let's say this gets passed and becomes law. Not only would it decimate the flow of very important money to candidates, it also sets up a system where corporations and unions' interests are continually on the decline. For example, let's go into the far future of 10 years from now, right? Let's say that there's one teacher that wants to close all the schools in LA County and turn them into McDonald's or whatever. And then there's one candidate, there's one candidate who wants to do that, and there's one candidate who does not want to do that. The teachers' unions and the corporations would only be able to give $5,000 of their own money to stop that from happening. But it's not actually $5,000 as we think about it right now. If the rate of inflation continues at the same as it has been going for the past 10 years, that $5,000 is actually $4,000, equivalently. If you go 20 years, it's $3,000, and on, to the point where the influence that, let's say, the electrical engineers union can have over who gets to represent them in the state assembly is basically nothing. This leads to a very important point. Corporations and unions are not the same thing, and treating them the exact same is a mistake. As of 2015, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, again, close to 15 million Americans participated in unions, mostly in the public sector. The decisions made by those unions on who and what to support to ensure the best future for their constituents is a lot different than Goldman Sachs spending $800 million on Mitt Romney's campaign in 2012. But they are processed and protected by the same constitutional laws. Lumping the two together is oversimplifying a very complex problem. But these issues are peanuts in the face of the elephant in the room. A cap like this is, and I hate to throw out a word that's been talked to death, but a cap like this is unconstitutional. And Gina mentioned Citizens United. Actually, what Citizens United talked about was the fact there was a movie that somebody wanted to put out. They made a video, it was like Hillary the movie, and it was full of lies and just bad stuff. And so it was taken to the Supreme Court that these people should be able to produce this movie and should be able to like, be out there. It was by a private group, not politically affiliated. And in the case of it, in case of Citizens United, where Citizens United won over the FEC, one of the Supreme Court justices asked, where would this end? Would a book that had a political advantage for one candidate be outlawed? Would a song that says screw Donald Trump not be allowed because it violates this thing? Well, yeah. It's about one of the most important values Americans hold, the First Amendment right. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble, and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. The Supreme Court ruled that it was not the government's place to interfere with how and to what Americans wanted to give their hard-earned money. Chief Justice John Roberts, writing for the majority in the case of McCutcheon versus FEC in 2013, which reinforced the court's ruling on Citizens United, had this to say: money in politics may at times seem repugnant to some, but so too does much of what the First Amendment rigorously protects. If the First Amendment protects flag burning, funeral protests, and Nazi parades, despite the profound offense such spectacles cause, it truly protects political campaign speech despite popular opposition. And therein lies the problem. Campaign contribution caps are supposed to help stop establishment candidates from completely stealing the limelight, which is a noble goal. Unfortunately, the one proposed tonight would do as much to hinder anti-establishment candidates as establishment ones. Take, for example, Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. Clinton's top 20 list of campaign contributors reads like the guest list for a Who Ruined the Economy party. Lehman Brothers, JP Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs. Wouldn't it be good to get these contributors out of her reach? It sounds like a good idea until you realize that the same law proposed tonight would also stop 9 out of the top 20 of Bernie Sanders' contributors, which are unions across the board. You've got teachers union, electrical engineers union, good old-fashioned labor unions. The motion proposed tonight it's oversimplified. It's saying let's have a one-sentence answer to a political system that is infinitely complex. In closing, this proposal is short-sighted. It doesn't take into account the myriad of pitfalls campaign legislation can fall into and offers an oversimplified version of an already bad idea.